So, welcome back to another episode. And today, I finally get to talk about an old arcade game, an old Super Nintendo game that I love from my childhood. And that is UN Squadron. Very happy to finally talk about this. And I think I need to start at the beginning, where I first discovered UN Squadron Area 88. It was back in 1988. I was a huge comic book collector. And I just heard that 3 brand new series were getting released from a company called Eclipse International. The series were Legend of Kamui, My the Psychic Girl, and the one that really captured my imagination, and that was Area 88. And it's true, of all the series, Area 88 grabbed my attention the most. Created by Kaoru Shintani, it tells the story of Shin Kazama, who is tricked into becoming a mercenary fighter pilot and has to fight a war in a Middle Eastern country called Arazan. Now, over the next 3 years, he has to earn enough money to break his contract and get released, hopefully, from Area 88. The only other means of escape are desertion and death. Now, here's where I get to gush about the art of Area 88, and I gotta tell you, the one thing that always got me about this artist was his character designs were very cool and very unique. But man, the backgrounds and the fighter crafts themselves, like the Tomcats, they're unbelievably well drawn. This guy must have just sat every day drawing planes meticulously. He had a real, should I say, fetish for drawing these planes. They're so meticulously, brilliantly drawn. I've always been blown away by it. And it's a real emotional storyline. That's the thing. Like this little mini story, there's a bit of an emotional impact in there. And you can understand Capcom's interest in it. It's such a great story. It's such a great art. And you have to remember, at the time, that Area 88 was a massive comic. It was a massive manga in Japan. Really, really big. So I enjoyed reading this comic book that was brought out by Eclipse. I just thought it was amazing. And then I go down to Bellis Fair in Washington with my parents, and I walked into, there's this little arcade there. I've gone into it a few times back then. And I walk in this one day, and there is this UN Squadron arcade machine. And I walked up, and I didn't realize what it was. I walked up, and I'm like, oh, a brand new arcade game. I wonder what this is, some shooter type of game. And then on the screen, I saw the flaming unicorn, the symbol of Shin's plane, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Area 88, and I look down and it's by Capcom. Man, my mind was blown. Obviously, I quickly put my quarter in, and I was rewarded to being able to pick 3 of the main characters of the story. One of them was Shin Kazama, the other was Mickey Simon, and then there was Greg Gates. I just thought it was great that you could pick any one of these characters to play with. And then the next thing, you're given a mission briefing on what you're supposed to do in the level itself. Then you can go to a store and buy secondary power-ups. I mean, I just thought this was the coolest thing I had ever seen. The game is 10 levels long, and it's your standard side-view shooter. Your weapons can be enhanced by picking up power-ups throughout the levels. Shin is the most balanced character, I find. Mickey can do more damage than any of the other characters. And Greg is more of an armor type, so he can take more damage for sure. The bosses in the game are very big and really, really nicely animated. I gotta say that. And near the end of the game, holy cow, they are really deadly. Overall, I've gotta say, a very, very satisfying arcade experience. A few years later, I was really excited to hear that they were doing a port of UN Squadron to my, at the time, brand new Super Nintendo. And wow, as a really early Super Nintendo game, I could not believe how close of an arcade port this was. The levels and animation matched the arcade very closely. And it made me realize the power of the Super Nintendo. The shop is back, and now you can buy new planes, but god damn it, they're expensive. You can also choose your levels now, rather than pick a straight path through the game. So that was really interesting. So you could go do some levels and earn money to buy better jets, to progress through the levels. So there was a few more options there. Now, I played this game so much when I was younger, and as I said in the beginning, it really captured my imagination. I was drawing my own Area 88 comic books back then, and I was looking for some of them, and I couldn't find I did a whole bunch of actual comic books. and I was looking for them. They're lost somewhere on a box in a closet somewhere. But I was able to find, and this is so awesome. I was able to find one of my old high school art books from 1991. It has it right at the top here. Look at this. This is how much I love the game. He writes over here, kaboom. UN Squadron in Desert Storm. And there's Shin here. Here's his plane coming over here. We got a tank coming over here. And I just love this. This is just so cool. I was really happy for the review. I'm like, oh good, I still have this. And this is from 1991. It says so right at the top here. For anyone interested, there's also an anime based from the comic. An OVA from 1985, and there's also a 12-part series that got released in 2004. Guys, I love UN Squadron. It's a great game, but it was also such a great comic book, and such a surprise to see the comic book into a game. It was really a big deal back in 1991. So, guys, I just wanted to share some of my memories and experiences playing UN Squadron. So, anyways, guys, until next time.